Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys a full moon in Libra reading for the Divine Feminine. So whether you are a Divine Feminine just on your own spiritual journey, or if you're on a twin flame journey, it doesn't matter. We're just going to be focusing on you today, Divine Feminine, bringing forth messages on healing and empowerment and motivation to just keep going in whatever direction you're currently either needing to go in or just wanting to go in. So just take what resonates for you, you guys, and get rid of anything that doesn't. So I'm going to be following the full moon in Libra tarot spread that I come up with every single month in my newsletter. So if you guys are not subscribed yet to my monthly newsletter, which is actually in 2 parts now, we do honor the full moon and the new moon of each month with tarot spreads and rituals and journal prompts and all that stuff. I'll put that information down below. So I do have a full moon in Libra ritual that you guys can practice tonight if you are interested. So the decks I'll be using will be listed down below. Today's Orgonite is the lovely Genie in a Bottle created by Michelle from Wing & Bell. And I wanted to ask you guys a question. What is it that you're trying to grow, or in what ways are you trying to improve at this time? So of course it's, spring here in the States. And so I just thought that this would be a good way to just kind of prompt that question, just to kind of share with other Divine Feminines out there and what you guys are working on. You don't have to be specific and give away too many details, but in which ways are you growing? What are you wanting to grow? Basically, what are your goals at this time? What are your intentions? And that can really be an inspiration for others to just basically, feel that energy in the comments down below. So if you guys want to participate in that, that would be awesome. So anyways, you guys, let's just jump right into this reading and see what Spirit wants us to know at this time about this full moon in Libra for the Divine Feminine. Let me go ahead and put this ember out because I tried to do that before and it popped back out onto the tablecloth here. And this is such a cute little table spread. I don't want to ruin my cloth. That's my only kind of springy Easter vibe one. You guys can see I got a little egg going. It's so cute, isn't it? All right, let's do it. All right, what is currently out of alignment in our lives, Divine Feminine? So, like I said, just take it as it resonates for you. But what does Spirit want to bring forth with what might be out of alignment right now for Divine Feminines in this collective? The ones that are choosing to tune in today. Where might we be out of alignment? Follow the white rabbit. That is so cute. It's Easter on Sunday. And I know not everybody celebrates, but here we have follow the white rabbit. You guys, it's so cool. So it says curiosity meets opportunity. So what needs to be balanced in our lives, you guys, is we need to basically follow our path, follow our intuition. And so some of us, maybe we're not doing that. Maybe we're not making enough time. Maybe we don't feel good enough to follow that opportunity, right? Maybe we're just kind of chilling, playing it safe. And Spirit's basically saying here that you've got to go after something. And we have this clock here in the background, which is indicating something about timing here. It might be the time is now or time is running out. So it's better to get started now than to maybe let another season pass by or make more excuses. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and get some tarot cards and see what this is trying to tell us here. In what ways are we out of alignment? I feel like we're out of alignment with our goals and the things that we want to accomplish here. Ooh, we have the 7 of Pentacles. And what's cool is that she's got this clock, but it's melted. You see this? So it's like melted as in it's warped. It's not really going anywhere. So the 7 of Pentacles, to me, it does say progress, but I feel like we're kind of taking a break on our progress with something. We're taking too much time. Maybe we are being too, overthinking it, right? We're getting in our own way at this point. We're overcomplicating things. So I just feel like what Spirit is saying here is that it is time for you to just jump in, hop in like the bunny into a new experience. What better time than now to do something that you've always wanted to do, especially if you've been really curious about something? Because if you don't just go after that opportunity, it is going to slip by. So the 7 of Pentacles means you can plan all you want and you can kind of try to do everything perfectly. But if you're not doing anything, then doing something is better than doing nothing. So that's what I'm getting here, is that we've got to balance out our mental thoughts and what we feel like we are ready for, And we got to lean a little bit more into our fire. So I feel like this is earth energy here. We need to lean a little bit more into our fire, which basically is the firecracker under our ass that gets us going, kind of like the bunny, right? Hopping into the next experience here. It's not good enough to just sit around and dream or think about it. We actually have to get into action mode and do something. The rabbit always represents spring to me, the Empress energy, okay, which is of course connected to Venus, which is Libra. So I just feel like that rabbit is all about abundance, and it's all about multiplying, right? It's all about creating things and you know, the seeds, planting seeds, etc. So I really like this energy here. What else? We have justice, which is Libra's energy, you guys. The full moon in Libra. This is crazy. Equality. This means something. To me, this is telling us that the time is now. We have to stop making excuses. That's if we're making excuses. We have to realize that, you know, yes, we might be scared, but we also need to balance that out with logic. And so it's about feeling, but it's also about utilizing your logic and realizing that, you know, you can move forward with both. It doesn't have to be all one way or the other. So this black and white energy, or this black and white thinking, I feel is getting us nowhere. And Spirit's saying we've got to equal something out here, because if we don't, then we're just going to keep making excuses, and we're not going to move forward and take action in the things that are important to us and the things that we want to do. So this could also be indicating, you guys, that you could be waiting for justice. And when we're waiting for justice, it's more than likely going to just continue to get pushed off further and further and further. Justice usually comes to those that don't wait for it. Justice just kind of naturally comes in and just like takes you by surprise when you're focused on other stuff, and you're just like, wow, that's great. Now that I'm not waiting for it and putting my life on hold for it, I'm just going to keep moving forward and thriving in life. And this is the thing, when there's meant to be justice, or when things are meant to kind of equal out for me, then justice will find me. But it's not going to find people that are just sitting around and waiting for justice to occur. We have to get back into the flow of life. We have to be willing to make moves and move forward. So I love this. We have 7 plus 3 is 10, and we have 11. So 10, 11. This could be a special number that you guys are seeing on your journey. So whenever I see 10, 11, I basically know that things are things are trying to wrap up. Cycles are trying to wrap up for me. And the 11 to me is always the green light, which means that you're on the right path, but you have to move forward. You have to make that effort to basically go after the things that you want to go after. So it's always a reminder that things are ending and better things are on the horizon. So that's what I'm seeing here, you guys. So what's currently out of alignment is that maybe we are waiting for something. Maybe we're putting our lives on hold. Maybe we are scared to take some sort of a risk, or to move forward towards a better life, or something that we really love or want to do. And Spirit's basically saying that you can equal things out, but it is going to require some moves on your part in order for this to happen. So that's the beginning message here. I really like that. And I just love that we got that confirmation of Libra's energy being present today. Very cool. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move into how can we create more balance in our lives then. So, you know, we're talking about all this balance. How can we create more of this in our lives then? Let's see. How can we create more balance in our lives? We have receiving. Every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. So that's really cool here. So you can see here we've got the sun. The sun is all about action. The sun is very masculine, dominant, so it's not going to be your feminine energy that's going to create change. It's going to be slipping into or leaning more into your masculine side of yourself, divine feminine, okay? That's what's going to get things done. That's what's going to create change. And we have the sun also reminding us, positive change, empowerment, feeling better, feeling happier, creating more joyous experiences for us. So this is, how can I create more balance in my life? By taking action. How can I create more balance in my life? By opening yourself up to receiving good. Now, if you're stuck in a rut, right? And if you don't feel good about yourself, then you're probably just going to accept crumbs, or you're probably just going to accept mediocrity. But Spirit is saying it's time for you to level up, Divine Feminine. You can see here he's reaching for something higher. We have to level up with ourselves here, especially if we're wanting something better, or we're wanting to have something different than we have right now. You have to start elevating yourself energetically to this level before Spirit can actually bring this in for you. Because what I feel that Spirit is trying to tell us is that there is a higher divine plan for you, but are you reaching for it? We do have to take some action steps to reach higher than we are reaching for right now. So reach for the stars. You deserve something better than maybe you are settling for or have right now. So it's a beautiful reminder of empowerment, okay? And the sun is all about positive thinking and really knowing that you deserve it, and having like the strength and the power of the sun behind you that says, you know what, you can do this. Keep going, Divine Feminine. It's really beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and get some tarot cards and see what else we need to know here of how we can create more balance in our lives. It might even be that we need to get outdoors as well. We need to get out into the elements. You can see here there's water, there's the sun, there's the air, there's the flowers of earth. So there's all the elements here around that person, and that might actually be really good for the soul. So if you're kind of spending, okay, wow, I'm just going to take these. If you're spending a lot of time indoors, Spirit's saying you've got to get outside. Okay, so there's 3 cards here. So we do have the 8 of Hedgehogs, which is the 8 of Pentacles, you guys. So the 8 of Pentacles can be a couple of things. First of all, it means dedication and hard work towards something. So we know that things don't just fall into people's laps. I mean, sometimes miracles can occur. Sometimes there's good karma that comes back at you. But the majority of things in life you do earn, and it's about the effort or the thoughts or the dedication that you put into something that manifests things in your life. So 8 of Pentacles is always reminding us that we do have to show up. We do have to put work in and dedication towards a particular thing. So it's not going to be easy, and it doesn't mean it's going to be so hard to where you can't do it, but you're going to be rewarded for your hard work. That's what 8 of Pentacles is. And 8 of Pentacles can also be an indication that we want to take a class, that we want to learn something new. And so this would also be, how can I create more balance in my life? Is by working at it, by making it a practice, like a disciplined daily practice of self-care, or a daily disciplined practice to working some sort of a program or taking a class, etc., where it's going to produce positive, empowering results. Now we have these cards connected. These are swords, you guys, so they're both coming through. 4 of Swords and 10 of Swords. Well, first of all, 10 of Swords is definitely that 10 that I was talking about. Something may have ended for you, or something is trying to end, and there might be pain associated with this ending, because the pain of the 10 of Swords, you feel like death. It's very close to the death card. It means that there's something that's ending, and it feels painful because it almost feels like we don't really have any choice but to pick ourselves up and survive. But the fact that we have the 4 of Swords coming together with this 10 of Swords tells me that you will heal, or that you are currently healing, that you will be okay, that eventually you will get past this horrible feeling of this ending if you have not already. So it's like it could be some loss is actually a gain. Maybe we can't see it yet, but I'm getting here we will. And we have receiving, which means that there is a divine plan. There is a higher plan in store for you. But the thing is, you will not be able to see it or reach it as long as you're holding on to this ending, or as long as you're holding on to a situation that's causing you to feel like you need to stay dead on the floor. Because that's literally what the 10 of Swords depiction is a man with 10 swords in his back bleeding. Literally, he's not getting up off that floor. It's a situation where it's just major defeat, and it's something is done, you know, it's like the last straw. Now, does this mean this ending is something that you could never experience or, you know, shift at a different date or timeline? Of course, yeah, there's nothing that's set in stone, but it just means all the pain that you have associated with this ending or with this major devastation in your life, you have an opportunity to heal some aspect of yourself through this ending. So there is going to be a gain from all of this pain, but you are going to have to work hard at figuring out exactly what that wisdom or that lesson is. And Spirit does have a divine plan for you. So trust that the things that have happened for you so far on your journey, even if it doesn't feel that way, have all been put in place for you for a reason. So remember, life is happening for you, not to you. Love it. So that's how we're going to create more balance in our life, is by moving forward and being willing to show up for ourselves and willing to just move forward and try to work at being happy. Because as we know, you can't just start going to the gym and eating right and suddenly you're just going to be in the best shape of your life. It's going to take time. Those muscles are going to take time to strengthen. Your body is going to need its time to, get rid of all the trash that maybe we've been putting in for years of our lives and reset itself with healthier foods. These things take time. So let's go ahead now and take a look at what is the state of my inner divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Because what I just saw here, you guys, is that we are being asked to lean more into our divine masculine side when it comes to taking action and when it comes to taking risks in the outer world. We are going to need to be in a little bit more of our divine masculine side for that. So let's go ahead and see what some of these things are. What is our divine masculine and what is our divine feminine? Let's take a look at this energy. What do we got here? All right, let's start off with the divine masculine side. Inner divine masculine right now. Touching earth, this is very cool because this is actually reiterating the message. This is about being in the tangible world, planting something new, doing something physical, taking action steps. So this does make sense to me, the way that this is coming through. Let's go ahead and get some cards connected to this. What is our inner masculine energy currently? We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is awesome. It's definitely awesome. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn, you guys, which is the material world. It's connected to Saturn. So this to me is saying that we could literally take any kind of lessons or any kind of hardships or burdens and we can turn it into something valuable. We can turn it into something tangible. And I always try to tell people, whatever journey that you're on, make the pain matter, transmute it into something that is beneficial to you. Don't go down in flames. Don't hand somebody all of your power. Don't end that story that way. Transform yourself into just a better version of you. Do something amazing with this experience and energy. That way, if you do want to let go of it or you do want to just kind of shift, timelines or vibrations or whatever, you are able to do that in a more empowered state instead of feeling like a victim or instead of, being caught up in that old story that, this person did this to me, this person did that to me. And it doesn't mean that it completely just erases everything, but we're just choosing to connect with the energy in a completely different way. We're just no longer willing to play out that old story. It's like we create a new story when we start transmuting and taking all of this energy and doing something new with it. That's what transmutation is. It doesn't go away. You just learn how to turn it into a different form. And this new form, you're going to make it work for you. And you're going to do something amazing here as the Queen of Pentacles, which to me, the Queen of Pentacles out of all the queens is the Empress. So we definitely have some major Empress vibes here, which is the divine feminine. She has this coin and she has it on the very top of her head, which to me is crown chakra energy. This crown chakra energy is your connection straight to source. So this tells me that any ideas that you guys have right now, anything that's coming to you, any spiritual downloads, this is being given to you as a gift to do something amazing right now here on earth. So if you guys feel like if you're coming into your purpose or your mission, or you feel like you have been given some kind of new idea and you want to do something, Spirit's saying to touch down here and plant the seed because the time is now. I love this. It's so empowering. So let's take a look at that inner divine feminine energy right now. What is the inner divine feminine? We have power over difficulties. Oh my gosh, you guys, look. This says reclaiming your power. And I just feel that whatever difficulties you guys have gone through as divine feminines, we are taking this pain and we're making it matter. We are taking back our power over our difficulties. 3 + 2 is the number 5. We are changing the game. We are changing up everything here. We just no longer have to just accept something. We can take back our power and we can do something new on this journey. It doesn't have to be the same old story 10 years from now. We have the opportunity to change things up. I love it. And we have the Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is connected to the planet Jupiter, you guys, and Jupiter is all about expansion. It's also about our belief systems, spiritual belief systems, and it's also about good luck and also fortune. So to me, this is telling me that this is our time to shine. It is our time to do something. So what is she doing? She's tempering the energy. She's transmuting the energy. She's finding a way to balance it out. So to me, even though this is not the Justice card, but we're still seeing some balancing going on here. So it's huge. So Libra energy as well as Sagittarius energy, we've got Libra connected to Venus, and Venus is all about what's important to us, our values, our relationships, right? And this Sagittarius energy is about our expansion, expanding beyond our current language of love, expanding beyond our current belief systems on love, and also our values, what's important to us, what's no longer important to us. So these things are fluctuating in our lives. These things are changing. But this is also to me about fate and destiny as well, and realizing that in divine time, which we did clearly see already, that there is something about receiving something in the correct divine time. So it's not saying we don't have power over, circumstances, but there are some things that might be happening or are not happening right now for a bigger reason, and that we just need to trust a little bit more. So whereas this is a very action on the earth, on this masculine side of ourselves is very much planted in the material world, this to me is more in the element here of receiving. It's patience, it's divine timing, it's balancing something within the self. It's realizing that there's a bigger plan at play here. So that takes the feminine's capacity to be able to understand that. She is also able to kind of look at both sides of the coin here and kind of go back and forth with the way that she's seeing something. So these 2 cups can be, the masculine and the feminine. And so we're looking at both, we're considering both energies in our lives. We're also considering that our own masculine and our own feminine energies within ourselves have a huge role in what shows up in our lives as well, because not everybody who sees themselves as a divine feminine or a divine masculine are even focused on another person outside of themselves. It's all about the inner divine masculine and feminine. So that's why I said at the very beginning of the reading, if you guys are just on your own spiritual journey or a twin flame journey, it can go either way. But regardless, the feminine, she is reclaiming her power over all of these difficulties that she has experienced, and she's creating positive changes for herself. But to me, this is something that's taking place within. And the masculine side is all about, making plans and moves in the material world, physical energy. So that totally makes sense where that's at right now. All right, so now we're going to see what themes are playing out in your connections with others. So for those of you that aren't really worried about your connection with the masculine or your feminine, this could just be in general. But if you're on the twin flame journey, this could be about your masculine or your feminine. So let's look at this energy. What are the vibes here? What are the vibes when it comes to this energy? What themes are playing out in your connections with others? I feel like there was a card that was upright. Interesting. I don't know why this is here, but I will take it, but I'm going to go ahead and grab another one. But it does say cancel, clear, and delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. So remember the card, that came through and it said receiving. I really got a sun vibe from that. And the sun is about positive vibes. It's about being optimistic in life instead of pessimistic. So we can always change things around, you guys. I feel like the theme that could be playing out in connections with other people is the stories or the narrative that we're this person or we're that person. This is about no longer taking old stories into either new connections when you meet people, because you'll notice that certain themes seem to keep following you. Like, I always attract this or I always attract that. The reason that this is happening is because we have not changed our thinking. We haven't cleared these patterns yet. So they just keep playing out in all of our relationships. And so I feel like that's probably why this card is here, saying something about themes continuing to play out over and over again, no matter who you meet. And until we cancel, clear, and delete these, they're just going to keep playing like an old tape. Now we have be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. So this is not going to resonate for everybody, you guys, but I just feel that until you're able to be willing to forgive yourself, or perhaps forgive the person that hurt you, and that does not mean it's okay with what they did. It just means you're no longer willing to sit with that poison anymore, because it's literally killing your system and soul. That this is going to be a difficult thing for you to move past. You're going to carry these wounds on into other relationships. Or if you're thinking that, hey, you know what, you meet somebody, they're great, you're probably going to sabotage it because of all of this energy that you have still attached to old people. Now, these could be stories from childhood, traumas from childhood, etc. So Spirit is basically saying you need to be willing to take the steps, and that could be different for everyone. That could be for some of you guys, you start working Codependence Anonymous. I'm just throwing it out there. It's like a free support group, and that's connected to a lot of trauma and a lot of dysfunction, etc. This could be about working with a therapist. This could be about, working with a spiritual teacher, doing some past life regression or inner child, healing, etc. So this is going to be different for everyone. For some of you guys, it could just be literally you're working with your angels and your higher self, and you're meditating and you're praying and you're journaling. It doesn't all have to be about getting help with someone else. We can do this work on our own as well. So it's just being willing to understand that something needs to happen here. We need to dedicate more time and energy into our mental health or our wounds. And we do need, I feel, regardless if it's other people, we do need the assistance of the divine. So I don't want to say you guys can't do it yourself, but it's like, your source is there for you to draw upon for strength. And I feel like some of you guys need to touch base with that, especially if you're feeling lost. Okay. So let's see. So like what themes are playing out? I feel like these themes are playing out that could be showing you things that you still need to let go of or release, or things you haven't cleared or healed yet. So some of you guys could be having issues in partnerships, like new ones, work situations, family members, friends, right? And they're all coming in the form of these roles of these teachers, like student-teacher relationships, to show you something about yourself. That's what I'm seeing here. We have the Prince of Swords. So the Prince of Swords is the King of Swords in this deck. It says the hacker. Interesting. But the King of Swords is definitely somebody who is very, very intelligent, somebody who uses their mind. They're very sharp. This is connected to the sign of Aquarius, by the way. So I feel like some of you guys need to hack the system, okay? It's like I'm getting hacking the matrix, if that makes sense to you. I know this kind of reminds me of the Matrix for some reason too. But it's realizing that there are a lot of programs that are constantly running that are just not even true. It's just an illusion. And so it's like there's this tie to the Matrix and just kind of the theme behind that movie. And it's not saying our pain isn't real, but there's just something here where we're buying into certain things, or we're buying into certain patterns or belief systems that really aren't serving us at all in a positive way. It's like, you know, we're slaves to it. We're slaves to our pain. We're slaves to our trauma. So there's something here that Spirit's basically saying, you have to hack this system. You have to get to the bottom of this. You have to find a way to like get into the flow again of your life, instead of having all of these things that pop up that basically cause you to doubt who you are, that take little bits and pieces of you every step of the way, and to where now you have to retrieve all these old aspects of yourself back. Like you feel like you've lost a part of yourself, and it's actually not true, but that's your belief. You feel like someone else has control over you, or you feel like, you know, Spirit won't let you to forget certain things. We tend to kind of have those belief systems when we feel things very deeply, when we don't understand them. And so I feel like the more that you guys, you know, go into just different things about you and who you are and what makes you who you are, and just goes through this healing, I feel like you're going to end up hacking the system, and it's going to come to you in the form of an epiphany and an aha moment, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I can't believe that this belief system that I've had for so long is the thing that's been keeping me stuck. Wow, I got through finally. It makes sense. So I feel like some of you guys may have already hacked the system, and others of you might be in the process of trying to figure something out that's deeply either disturbing you or holding you back when it comes to relationships. Like, why can't I find a decent person? Why won't this person, open up or wake up? Why is it that I'm still, alone after all these years? When is my person coming, etc.? I'm just putting out a bunch of stuff that could be going on here. And I just feel like the answers are actually within. It's not out there. It's not in the form of another person. It's actually within you. But until you hack that, and it's going to take some time, because that hacker, what does the hacker have to do? He really has to use his mind. He just really has to be on his game in order to crack that system. But that's why he's a hacker, is because he can. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. You guys can crack the code. You guys can hack the system, but it will take some mind control and power on your part to be able to do this. And that's why I feel like we got the Eight of Pentacles earlier. If we really, really want to heal, and we really want to succeed, and we really want to be happy, we are going to line up our actions with those things. It's not good enough to sit around and think about it, hope for it, pray for it. You actually have to make some moves, or you guys are going to remain in the same position that you are. And 10 years from now, you might be saying the same freaking story. And I'm just getting here for a lot of you. You don't want that, because I'm sure that you guys all know people like that. Like maybe you look at your parents, maybe you look at your mom or your dad, and you're just like, wow, like they could have had it so much better, or they could have made different choices, and they really just kind of let themselves go, and they just kind of lived a mediocre life. I don't want that for myself. So there are other people around you that have made their beds, and now they're lying in it. And so you have to ask yourself, is that what I want to do? Is that how I want to end up? Is that how I want to end up? And I think for a lot of you, the answer is no. You could, because we all have free will, to not do shit with our gifts, and to not take any kind of, not make any moves, and just play it safe. But we all have the ability to dream, and to take those dreams and those ideas and put it into action and create form and see what happens. And I just think that as long as you're trying, as long as you are willing, right, you are living. And if you're not, then you will remain scared. You will continue to cling on to old ideas. You will continue to drown in old traumas and pain, and let that pretty much be the narrative of your entire life. So I'm not saying it's just, oh, it's so easy, just snap your fingers. And, believe me, I'm not trying to downplay things. I've been through a shit ton of things in my life, and I have had to replay things over and over and over again for a ridiculous amount of times. I've had to go back into situations too many times to where I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Enough is enough. So things do take time, and everybody is different with how they progress, or, what they have to go through in order to like come out the other side. But I do believe that we are all given these opportunities, and it's up to us what we're going to do with it. So, but this green energy, you see this green energy? This tells me here that there's some kind of heart energy, some heart chakra energy that could be blocked, or that we really, really need to heal. And it has something to do with the relationships with the people that are around us right now, and that just keep showing up, or just these are people from the past. And the only way that we're going to be able to improve these things is by going deep within and healing our own wounds, and really detaching these cutting out these programs. And it's not just once. You guys might have to do it several times. There's a situation in my life where it's just like, every single time it was done, I was sure it was done, and it would come back. And then I would go back into it, and I was just like, this is it. This is done for me. I'm done. And I'm like, oh, nope, actually, let me go one more time. Okay, this is finally it. So I just think that things happen in stages sometimes for us. So don't be hard on yourself. Everybody has their own way of learning. All right, now we're going to go into what shadows are we afraid to embrace? Well, I feel like that was kind of shadowy, but hey, let's go ahead and see what shadows are coming through that we need to embrace, that maybe we are afraid to, or just we need to continue to embrace. Let's look. Okay, so the card is see the good in everything. Wow. And look at the sun, you guys. So the sun image pops up 2 times. I feel like some of us, and I'm including myself in this, can become pessimistic. We become pessimistic because a lot of shit has gone down, and we also see a lot of darkness in the world. And it might even be that, we're the ones that are doing all the changing and everybody else is remaining the same. It's not fair. It's not fair. Or how could this person do this and get away with it and get off scot-free, but yet I seem to get instant karma? I'm just throwing different things out there that I felt myself, because sometimes it doesn't seem like it's fair. But the thing is, when we focus on that, everything starts to just become jaded. Like we're just so freaking jaded where we don't even want to open ourselves up anymore. We don't even want to believe that good things can happen. So seeing the good in everything, I like that statement, but I also feel like we need to have our feet on the ground. There are people out there that are just rotten. They're rotten to the core. They don't have a conscience. We have all met these types of people, and they are here to pretty much put us through experiences that are life-changing and so traumatic that you may have PTSD even from dealing with these types of people, okay? So not all people are good in the world. So we do have to be discerning here. That's why the whole love and light spiritual bypass, it's great and everything. And I understand the positive, concept behind it, but we also do have to be discerning and smart as well, which is where our shadow self will really save our ass in situations, especially when you're dealing with low vibrational entities or people. Okay. So seeing the good in everything is great. And I'm just seeing here with this statement, we need to see more of the good in everything instead of focusing on all the bad. And it's very hard right now, especially for some people in the world, to see that maybe this world can be saved. Some people believe it's going to the hell in the handbasket, that the world's going to end. Some people there's a lot of different belief systems out there. So let's see what the lesson is. This is a day for optimism only. No matter what comes your way, your task is to see only the favorable attributes in it. Your goal is to practice the power of positive thinking. So I love that came up with that sun energy that I tapped into earlier. We do need to start focusing more on the positives instead of focusing on everything that's going to go bad, or that everything that could potentially go bad. Yes, we do still need to be somewhat guarded for our own safety, but we don't have to be completely over to the far right or the far left. Let's try to remain somewhere in the middle. And maybe some of us are, let's just say that, the right is like dark and the left is light, whatever. I'm just, using that as an example. Maybe some of us are a little too, like we're in the middle of the right and the middle, right? Or maybe some people are in the middle of the left and the middle. So we're kind of in between, but we're leaning more towards the left, or we're leaning more towards the right. What about trying to be in the middle of it all? And when we're in the middle of it all, we can value that people have different opinions, people have different ways that they want to live, and that we're not sitting around making a big, stink about it. That we just accept people for where they're at and who they want to be. As long as it's not hurting anybody, then what the fuck do you care, right? So it's that kind of energy. And there's a lot of people right now that are really pissed off about a lot of things. And all it does is just continuously perpetuates more and more just lower vibration and lower hate. It's like spending so much time. I'm not even going to get into it. Anyways, so the point is that yes, we all have a choice with the way that we want to experience the world. And I feel like if you're kind of holding on to the sun, you could get burned. But I also feel like it's just in the way that you're looking at life, right? If you believe that you can hold that sun and not get burned, then that's your belief system. And if that makes you happy, then fantastic. It's not hurting anybody. That's the message I'm getting here. So what does this mean? This is talking about what shadows are we afraid to embrace when people can't do that, when people are so caught up with what everybody else is doing that they deem evil or bad or wrong. You're just going to live a miserable freaking life. That's just the bottom line. Absolutely 100%. So, and I'm not really getting that you guys are doing that, but it could just be like other people that are trying to make you feel bad about your belief systems, the way that you want to live your lives, etc. And it's just realizing that, you know what, you can focus on all of those negative Nellies. You can focus on people that want to try to tear you down and want to try to ruin the world or whatever, or you can choose to see things and focus on more of that good. And that to me is going to make all the difference in your life. So, because what other people are griping about and pissed off about and yelling about and freaking out about and flinging onto other people, that's their own shadow that they're dealing with. They're just trying to project it onto everybody else. And so, and it's interesting because in my comments the last couple of weeks, not a lot, so that's awesome, because so I do choose to focus more on this good, and I wasn't always able to do this. I got really, really triggered. And this time when I had some things that were being said, I just deleted the comments instead of responding to them. And I just basically moved on, with my life. And I just realized that, this person is not understanding me or doesn't, get what's going on. I don't need them to. I don't need to explain myself. They're just going to simply fall away, and I'm just going to kind of keep doing my thing. So that's what I chose to do in those moments, instead of react, instead of getting pissed off, instead of doubting myself, and instead of letting it make me feel like I was doing something wrong. So people are either going to celebrate you and get you, or they're just going to fall away from your life. And I just feel like that's a good way of seeing things, because you're just in a state of peace. You're not needing to fight. You're not needing to defend yourself. You're not joining the circus. You're just kind of deciding, you know what, I'm over here, you're over there. It's all good, Two of Pentacles. Love it. This to me is about being in the middle. Remember I was talking about, it's not about extremes here. We're not extreme high, extreme low. We're not black, we're not white, we're not left, we're not right. It's just being somewhere in the middle. You can be flexible, and that's really what the Two of Pentacles is. We can be flexible in our lives. We can see both sides of the same coin. We can see everyone's opinion, and it doesn't mean that we have to agree with them, but we can agree to disagree. Of course, unless someone's trying to hurt you and they're creating all kinds of tragedy in your life and they're trying to, basically destroy your world, you may need to cut people like that off completely. You cannot be in the middle with those types of people. Sometimes you are required to be black and white. That's where your shadow's going to come in, and that's when your discernment's going to go, yep, this person, get the fuck out. You got to take that sword sometimes. I'm not saying literally, but you just got to get people out. But I'm getting here for the majority of the people in your life and the majority of the people that you deal with on a daily basis, whether you're a friend, social media, your business, love, whatever. You can practice being more flexible. We can Also, when something really triggers us, we have to ask ourselves, ew, why am I so bothered by this? Why do I feel this in the pit of my stomach? Why am I so angry? Why am I so fired up? What does this mean? Right? And I remember I used to hate it when people would say, well, obviously, maybe you have a guilty conscience, or maybe you are afraid that that's how you really are. And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? That's definitely not what it is. I know I'm not this person. But it's funny though, because years later, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I think I understand what that meant. And even though I don't see myself as that person, I obviously have some major issues surrounding me fearing that people think I'm that person. Why do I have this fear? And then leaning into that, and it's just a layer upon a layer upon a layer. So sometimes we do have to pay attention to why we're so triggered. And that tells us tells us a lot about us, and it also gives us an opportunity to go deeper and deeper within ourselves. But what this also does, you guys, because it's not just about you, you realize that there's a lot of people in the world that are not aware of themselves. They're not doing any kind of inner reflection or work, and they're not comfortable with their shadow at all. And so anybody that's flipping out, anybody that's crazy, pretty much, you're going to know that you're dealing with somebody who's they're just not tuned in. And that's okay. It's not a judgment like, oh, I'm so much better than you and you're just so like low vibe. It's not like that. But it's very much about, we can have compassion. We don't have to say it's cool. Yeah, continue to, scream and yell at me and treat me like shit. No. But we don't have to take it on. We don't have to take it on, because why? We know why they're doing it. We know why they're name calling. We know why they are trying to spew their toxic shit onto us, because there's something within them that they don't want to look at and that they don't want to deal with. So this will help you to be more balanced with the way that you see the world and the way that you operate in the world. So people are absolutely necessary on your journey because they help to balance you out. So, sometimes there are people in life where they're very much about like, I hate people. I want to be alone. I don't want to deal with anybody. I'm just going to be a hermit. And you know what? Who am I to say that there's anything wrong with that? But I just really don't. I think you're really missing out on lessons when you do that, because it's safe to spend time on your own. You don't have anybody to reflect anything back at you. You don't have anybody to hold you accountable for shit that maybe you do need to work on. So it's safe. You can stay in that narrative of just yourself constantly. But I just feel like if you do open yourself up to relationships, or open yourself up in the workplace, or just having friends and not being a total hermit all the time, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a thing or two, and it's probably not going to be super pleasant the whole time, but you will learn. You're willing to learn through, other people. So that right there is, what shadows are we afraid to embrace? It's not that we're afraid to embrace this. It's just that we're starting to realize that people that are afraid to embrace things will project onto us, and perhaps we're doing the same thing. So it's all a balancing effect here. So people in your lives that have hurt you, it's about really looking at those relationships and examining those relationships. And I do believe that this was a journal prompt in my the April newsletter, and that might also be helpful to you guys as well, because I believe I asked something about listing certain people that you needed to forgive. And remember, we just got the be willing to forgive, so it could just be like a really good exercise just in general. So that's what we're getting with that. So now we're going to go ahead and end the reading with, how is Spirit assisting you while you make these necessary changes? Let's take a look. How is Spirit assisting you while you're making these necessary changes? Oh. Too many cards just fell on the floor, so it's not our card. Ooh, I love this. Authenticity. Yahoo! All right, I'm going to get a couple, actually. I'm just feeling it. Oh, I love this. I just love the artwork on this deck. It's just so cute. First of all, we have authenticity. And you can see this gal, right? She's standing out in the crowd. She's not afraid. She doesn't need to be like everybody else. She can stand up for herself. She can say no when she needs to. Basically, she's just not afraid. And so what Spirit is basically doing, they're assisting us in being more authentic and basically learning who we are as individuals and actually being okay with other people doing the same. And now we have elevate self-worth. So when you're doing things that feel authentic to you, things are that are in alignment with you, you're spending time with people that value you, that treat you right, that treat you well, your self-worth elevates. So this is a temperature gauge. It's going all the way to the top. So this right here is an elevation in our energy, an elevation in our frequency, an elevation in our thinking. It's all positive, baby. It's very empowering. So we do have to spend time with people that see us and accept us, but we also see them and we accept them too, and that we're on the same page. There will be people that you'll run into in life where they're not authentic. You know that they're not authentic. You know that they're lying to you. You know that they have a lot of crap that they're holding on to or holding back or maybe even projecting onto you. And those are very difficult relationships. And it might be because someone doesn't have self-worth, or maybe it's you don't have self-worth, which is why you're putting up with their shit. So these are all going to be temperature gauges with the people that we meet. It's all going to be a temperature gauge where we're at on our journeys. So Spirit is basically saying to you, you are going to be with the people that reflect where you're at on the self-worth thermometer. And so that's how we're going to work with you. This is how you know that you are working like you're working an Ascension program. That's what I'm getting here. That's how you're going to know that we're with you on this Ascension program, that you're working. Because the less and less that you need to feel like you've got to prove yourself to someone, that if this person just loved me and accepted me, then I could heal. There is something in my life, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but I do like to insert myself with you guys in this community because I think it's important for you to know. Not like anybody thinks that I've got my shit together, because there's certain things that I don't have together. And I'm just human like you guys, and I suffer with certain things. And just because I bring these messages through, Spirit's using me as a vessel. And so some of these messages are for me as well. So the way that I identify with this is that I do still have this wound with someone from my past. And it has been difficult for me because I have felt over the years like that I've really, cleared a lot of it, but there is some residue. There's some residual shit that's still there that does seem to linger for me. And it's an old program that's still running. And I do sometimes, especially, during shadowy times or just real emotional times for me, I will think to myself, that it really bothers me that this person saw me in the past at my weakest, and that they've never known me the way I am now. That's completely different. And that they're always going to look at me from that old lens. It really bothers me. And I still feel like this person, not like I'm important in their life, I'm probably not even a thought in their head, but it's like just that feeling of that's how they remember me. And I have a hard time forgiving myself for that version of myself. So this is still something I'm working on, you guys. And there's somehow that fantasy in me that if this person could just know me and see me now, that somehow that would make me feel better. So do you see what's happening there? I am giving my power over to that person instead of trying to figure out how to provide this for myself. Why do I feel like I need this person to see me? Why can't I? Why isn't it good enough for me to see me? So that's something I'm currently still working on. So I just wanted to put that out there, that some of you guys are still feeling that way towards a particular person in your life, that these things do take time, and it does take work and dedication. So yeah, that's what we have. So anyways, I hope that makes sense to someone out there. Let's go ahead and get some tarot cards. Four Swords. So this is the in-between tarot, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords. So what I'm seeing here is, obviously we know the 4 of Swords is a card of healing. It's a card of taking time out. And the 5 of Swords is this, I'm sorry, this is the, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords. This is a card of where the 5 of Swords is a battle. The 5 of Swords is a card of feeling defeated. So what I'm gathering from this, you guys, and I love that we have the full moon in the background, this full moon might be a really good time for you guys to kind of tap into balancing this out. And it doesn't mean you're going to balance it out during this full moon, but you're at least going to start the process. You're going to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to start working with this wound. You are going to start kind of trying to figure out why you still feel this way and what you can maybe do to balance this out within. So I just feel like this is you're the person on the ground. You put down your sword, and the person that's standing above you is holding a weapon. There's even other people here too. And you have your eyes closed. And I feel like what's going on here is that you do have the opportunity here to withdraw from the fight, to withdraw from this battlefield. And it doesn't mean, because sometimes the 5 of Swords can indicate, it's a battle that we're not going to win. So we have to kind of choose our battles. And I just feel in this case, you guys, that the battle might be within yourself. And you might feel like this person is standing over you with all of this power, but that's an old program. That's like a past program. And I feel like that's why Spirit, in a way, like pushed me to share my experience, because I feel for me that is an old program, this old version of me. And I'm still stuck on that timeline, and I need to get out of that timeline. I need to pull myself off of that timeline, because it is disrupting me on my current timeline. And I got to find a way to heal and let that go. So there's just some work that needs to be done, and Spirit is leading the way. And I really like this, because we have now the 6 of Wands to the 7 of Wands. First of all, the 6 of Wands is victory. And this does tell me here that you can do it. And Spirit recognizes your hard work and dedication when you do start working some sort of steps with yourself in order to improve yourself and to heal. So whatever that means, remember all those things, those suggestions that I made at the very beginning of this reading. Where there's a will, there is a way, but you do have to co-create with Spirit in order to make things happen. We can't just sit back and just pray that one day we'll feel better. We can't just, light a candle and do a cord ritual and think that, it's just going to go away. No, there's real work and hard work and dedication, and you will be recognized, which is the 6 of Wands. And then the 7 of Wands to me is like, we're really fighting for it. We're really strong. And what we're also doing is this energy that's coming at us. We're willing to push back and say, no, you no longer have power over me. You no longer have control over my mind or my life or my heart. You no longer have a place in my soul. So I just feel like a lot of you guys are going to get to this point for sure, including myself. Yep, I love this. The 8 of Cups on your way to the 9 of Cups. The 8 of Cups means that we are willing to walk away from something that it just no longer serves us. Maybe this pain has served us for a while. Maybe this pain has really pushed us in ways that maybe we would have never done certain things without this pain. But I feel like a lot of you guys are ready to kind of give up the old story, the old narrative, or just you're ready to give up the pain. Like you don't need it anymore. It's almost like you've lived with it for so long, you've taken it on as a form of your identity, but it's not really who you are. The 9 of Cups are all yours, baby. That 9 of Cups is yours and yours only. You created it. You created your happiness. You're happy on your own, within yourself, loving yourself. And that's something that, has always been very difficult for me. So I feel like I am that lady. I am in this freaking boat, and she's fishing. She's fishing. She's fishing for something. She's searching for something. She's hoping that something bites. But the thing that's going to bite, and I don't mean this like in a negative, but that fish in the water is actually her. That catch is her. She doesn't know it yet, but she's on her way to figure that out. That she really is a catch, that she really is something, that she really has something amazing to offer. So it's been a long journey. It's been a hard journey, but I just feel, you guys, that that's really what this journey is about, is for you to just get to that 9 of Cups stage in your life. And when you're at that 9 of Cups stage in your life, then maybe you can properly get to that 10 of Cups, where you will be able to really bring that into your life in the form perhaps of another person, if that's what you want. You'll be able to do that. And the thing that's interesting is that I'm in a marriage right now. Mr. Moon and I have been together going on 13 years, and it's definitely hasn't been easy. You know, we've had our ups and downs for sure. But throughout this marriage and throughout our relationship, you know, he's had his struggles and I've also had my struggles. So it's like we're learning a lot about ourselves while we're in this relationship. And some people are single and doing this work, and some people are connected in relationships doing this work. So either way, you know, works. But still, there are times when Mr. Moon says, you know, but I see you're so great. I see your worth. I see your value. And you know what I say to him? That's great, but I don't. So it doesn't matter what you say. I don't believe it. So it's up to me to do the work and to search for the answers and to figure out what's missing in my life. And what's missing in my life is this. So that's my journey, you know, as a divine feminine, as I just go through all my past and I go through all my wounds and just do what I can to just keep pushing forward and to recognize things and to work on things when they pop up, because that's just what this human experience is all about. So anyways, you guys, that's what I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys got something, you know, from this today. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. And I think I had asked a question at the very beginning of this reading, and I think it was just like, what are you guys striving for? What are your goals? You know, what are some things that you want to do this year, you know, as we're in the spring energy, and just, you know, setting certain intentions. And it doesn't have to be specific, but what is it that you guys are really wanting right now? What's the most important thing to you on your journey at this time? So if you guys want to share it in the comments down below, that would be awesome. So anyways, you guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, turn on notifications, everything, so you guys don't miss any readings here. And obviously, I have another channel as well. If you guys don't know, Treasure Trove Tarot, and I do a lot of other things over there. During the month, I will do a full moon, which is today, and then the new moon, I think it's the 24th, I could be wrong, every month for the Divine Feminine on Mystic Moon. But the rest of these readings over here are about the twin flame journey, soul connections, contracts, things like that. But if you guys want regular content that really aren't about connections, all of that stuff is over on Treasure Trove. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And I do plan to bring a pick a card reading to you guys this Saturday. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.